This is a further video to illustrate the carriages which I've been making for Trainz railsim for the Great Western Railway from the period about 1870 until about 1920. And this particular batch includes, which I've put behind this wonderful model of a Royal Sovereign, which I should know who made it, but it certainly wasn't me. I couldn't, my stuff is not as good as that. It's an excellent model. Anyway, here's mine. So this first one is a third class C4, and with the classic bow ends and all the rest of it, clerestory of course, and as you can, and a second carriage behind it here is A1. Now A1 is a first class side corridor carriage, and I'll be making a few more of these in other classes. So here's the corridor end, and I haven't added it to this because there aren't corridor carriages either side of it, but this particular one will accept my load corridor connection load, which extends the corridor out to join the next carriage. But one of the distinctive features about this and the J4 sleeper carriage, first class sleeper from this same period, are these extraordinary sort of bowed sides. It's like almost like bow windows. Sort of, if you look down from the top, you'll see what I mean. They're actually stepped out a little there, and it's a feature which wasn't continued with the Great Western Railway, as indeed the side corridor end connections weren't continued. They did eventually move to centre corridor connections, which of course made it much easier to shunt stock, because they didn't have to be lined up, because these are this is what's known as handedness or handed, so this is, as it were, right-handed corridor stock. And then behind that is W3 six-wheel parcels and mail van with a couple of end windows. You can see a couple of windows at each end, and this will accept loads for sacks, basically, is what I've set it for, but you can add further loads in the config if you wish. The point to note about these carriages is that the first class carriages all use the roundel, there it is down the bottom there, over here, that GWR crest, garter crest rather, not the roundel is later, and but the others tended to just use these very florid letters on the sides of the carriages, and I've kept them all pretty much similar. I've tried to maintain the colour scheme on the roof, the sides, throughout this whole series of carriages, because it really does summarise the look of the Great Western at the turn of the 19th, 20th century. Just on this view here, you can really see the sort of bowed extra width of those carriages. So there we are. Those are three more carriages to add to my collection of Great Western Railway coaching stock, and we'll just take this into my little test station just to see there. And of course with the others, which is part of an expanding range, I'm going to keep on producing these carriages. I've got quite a few more that I want to produce, so that's all going to play a part in my growing collection of models. So here we are coming into the station here, and I was very pleased that John Whelan was fixed the problem I was having with the coal loads in the some of the wagons there, which were disappearing as you zoomed in and zoomed out. So there we are, stopped at the station, and doors have opened, and just going to close again. I've actually varied the angle at which the doors open. Sometimes they open 90 degrees, sometimes a little bit more, about 130 degrees, just as the fancy takes me really. But there we are. So that's another three carriages to add to the growing collection of Great Western Railway carriages, and I hope you'll find them of interest. I hope you find this video of interest, and if you do, please give me a thumbs up or leave a comment or a question. I'm happy to have a go at answering them. And please also do subscribe to my channel, because it encourages me to see the number of subscribers, and hopefully reflects on the sort of appreciation for the models that I make.